Hi guys, hope all is well. I'm going to do a video about the trade today on US30 and just kind of across the board. So dollar, we did actually start breaking above this high, just creating high highs and high lows, just really clean. You can see even from the beginning of the week, we've basically just been straight bullish. So I wouldn't mind seeing some potential shorts going into the end of the week. That does not mean to say that that is going to happen though. Let me just, okay, cool. So that doesn't mean that that is going to happen. We do have some supply in here that demand even on a 30-minute here. You can see price came up, supply here, demand. This is our flip. We came in, we flipped this. But technically overall, this is our overall demand area, which I'm looking for to get broken. So really and truly until this gets broken. But I think if we are going to start breaking below this, we can potentially be looking for this area to actually look for pullbacks and then potentially shorts. That is only if we actually really break below. I do want to see if price can come up and create a high first. Going from the fib is lining up quite nice. Price coming to our fib level, so we should technically be expecting longs, but I do want to see what is going to happen on it though. So that's dollar, potentially looking to see kind of what reaction we do get around here. If not, potentially shorts maybe, but nothing's showing me that at the moment, but we'll see. So US30 overall, from the beginning of the week, you can see we had this correction move. I was actually looking for longs, and I did actually catch longs in here, and I was expecting to take that up into this 2-hour and then that continuation short, but we did do that. We just pretty much died off, which was, anyway, that was nice to see. So we came down, we broke structure again, generated more liquidity for the Asian. We took that, and then you can see we did actually start pushing back up. We do have a lot of this Asian liquidity, which I do expect to actually get taken through because we are actually really close to our daily target, which is down here. So 31,100. That's kind of the vibe we're going for. Now, whether price does actually want to start pulling up into potentially this EMA and we start coming back down, we will see. But potentially this end of this day is looking quite, or not bullish as such, but let's see if we actually can potentially close above the daily high, which is just here. So if we go drop it down. Okay, so we want to see if we can potentially close above here. But until that happens, we are still potentially expecting short. I was actually looking for a sell off here. I did have a sell limit here when I was looking for buys, but this buys look quite strong, so I did have a feeling that was going to get invalidated, which it was, and there was some highs in here which I kind of was targeting also. So what I am looking for now is potentially price to either come into this 20-minute, because this is where price really started continuing down. So if we do actually start breaking above this and invalidating this distribution, then depending on what the break is like, I do want to see if we can either come up a bit more, pull back to then go long, or if we are just going to continue and then potentially go over next week or end of this week. I don't know why this keeps happening. It's really frustrating. Just here we go. Okay. So we do still have a few days left. Sorry guys, let me just my OCD. Okay, cool. So as you can see, going in for Monday, we had this correction, then we broke lower. Now this is potentially the zone we're waiting to see if it gets invalidated. So like I said, I'm going to wait and see if price is going to come up here, but I do want to see if we can actually use the sessions. I've noticed like the session timings on this is actually really cool to see. So example, dropping on a 1 minute. Okay, cool. So this is a 1 minute. I'd noticed we had actually, no, that's not a 1 minute. I'd noticed going into London, we came in and tested some Asian supply, and then we actually broke structures going into London. So when we were going into London, we had a lot of this liquidity that was being built up, and we had this single wick high. So it's going to be a lot of stop losses above this high. So I said, okay, cool. Depending on how the session goes, going into London, if we are actually going to manipulate it or not, you can see just coming not out of the London session, but the main bulk of it anyway. You can see going into kind of half one, price kind of just died off, and that's telling me that price is actually looking to continue and take out this high because again, session rollovers. So what you can see is actually really nice. So I was looking to trade in on a 5 minute, which was here, because this 5 minute came in and filled this imbalance, and then we broke structures. So now it's just looking for a high, 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 low, high, high, which is what we got. So this was kind of my main confluence in this. Obviously, we'd broken structures, but considering this high hadn't actually been taken, and we had a lot of liquidity resting here, as soon as we started breaking below, that's telling me there's so much liquidity resting above here. And you can see this is going into half one. And then, as you can see, half two, as soon as New York opens, that's when we get that pump move. So actually looking at like the sessions and the timings has actually been like really useful for me. So that was kind of really one big thing that I was looking for. And that's what I want to see going into tomorrow, because if not obviously all the time, but I've noticed if we're going up in London, going into New York, then we die. Or if we're going Asian London, going down and potentially New York, we have the continuation, because it's kind of nothing more than just price accumulating and distributing. But going into the 1 minute, this was really, really nice. So we had our test my original entry was up this 5 minute zone. And you can see once we had that 5 minute zone got tested, price actually came and we had a really, really nice breaker structure here. So again, it was just looking for the move that caused that break. Price came down. I didn't actually place a trade here, but you can see this is a really, really nice reaccumulation, and you can see, excuse me, the price changing from strong to weak hands going into the crossover times. Like using crossovers is actually really, really useful. I found, but you can see just like going into New York session, just price literally just rolling over, and this accumulation was super, super nice. So we had that first test after this break structure. Price came back down, and we started coming back up. Price came into here, and I started seeing price coming pushing down a bit. We still hadn't have broken out this high, but so far price had already broken lower time frame, and I did think that this is just going to be another liquidity buildup. So price came down. I literally had a super tight stop loss. I had 2 pip stop loss on this trade. So I had a 2 pip stop loss, literally just straight into the open. As soon as we come to the open, price continued going into 2 o'clock. That's when we had that break structure again. And then again, it was looking for the area that caused that. So technically, you could have used this imbalance. And then from there, literally, you can see going to 130, price continued, and we absolutely mooned. So the first one was a 1 to 6, the second one was a 1 to 12. I was looking for potentially a second one coming in off this 1 minute. You can see actually a little bit more clearly on a 5 minute. Yeah, so this 5 minute, you can see we just got that sell move, and then price actually continues up. So I was looking for that. We didn't get them. That is fine. That doesn't mean potentially we still can't get that going into tomorrow. I take this across. So kind of depending on what happens with the dollar, what I do want to see is if price is going bearish, that means US30 is going up because they correlate negatively. So what I want to see is if price can actually start breaking below this, if we get that pullback and then that continuation lower, that means US30 could potentially pull back and actually continue. But so far we are still mitigating kind of in and around this zone. So I do want to kind of see what does happen if we are generating liquidity in the form of highs. You can see generation of liquidity, generation. So now potentially over these zones, we could actually continue and push up a bit higher. One thing I've noticed about trading US30 is price moves all the way until market close. Like, and some pairs, the volatility kind of dies off a little bit, but US30 just keeps going throughout the whole way. So you do really need to wait for the market to close with US30 to kind of see what is happening. But we had this break structure now. I do want to see if we can come up a bit higher. Overall targets are still short, so still looking for potentially that short move. But I would not be surprised if we kind of just had a little run on these highs before actually kind of coming down a bit. So that's what I've been looking for on US30. That was a really, really nice trade, really, really nice outcome. I haven't looked at anything else other today. Euro pound. that came in and took out this high, which was kind of expected, to be honest with you. So now I do want to see what kind of reactions we do get from this zone if price is now potentially gonna pull up and then actually start heading back down. I'm not too sure, but I do want to see if price can at least come into this 30-minute zone, because this is where price really just took off. So even potentially shorts down into here and continue, or we just kind of continue low. We do have a lot of liquidity resting here, and we do have this really, really nice accumulation, which I would like to see price come into. So that's euro pounds and pound Swiss. I think everyone can see it, to be honest with you, just simple high highs, high lows, looking to see if we can get some sort of reaction in and around this area. I equally wouldn't be surprised if price ran all of this, but equally so far we haven't done that. So I think something more important needs to happen. So potentially pullbacks and then continuations short is what I am looking for tomorrow. If anything else happens, I'll keep you guys updated. If you've got any questions, please ask and be free to fire away. All right, guys.